Hey travelers! Grab your tea and your primo gems because things in Teyvat are heating up. Literally. The upcoming Luna 3 update of Genshin Impact is shaping up to be one of the most fascinating and potentially divisive patches we've ever seen. And at the center of it all stands one blazing new name. Durin, the long-awaited Pyro sword user from Mondstadt's ancient legends. But hold on. This isn't just another fiery swordsman. No. Durin might just be the key to a whole new faction system that could reshape team building, revive older characters, and even change how elemental synergy works altogether. So buckle in because we're diving deep into what could be one of the boldest experiments Hoyoverse has ever attempted. And remember, take this like a puff of dandelions in the wind. Light, fun, and not set in stone. Let's start with what we know about Durin's gameplay, or at least what we think we know. In Luna 3, Durin's leaked kit paints him as a flexible, two-form pyro fighter. His elemental skill not only generates extra energy but also acts as a switch, toggling between two distinct modes. Form A, an AoE pyro application that engulfs enemies in sweeping flames, and Form B, a concentrated single-target strike that channels all that heat into devastating precision. It's a clever twist, a dynamic between raw destruction and pinpoint control. His elemental burst, costing a hefty 70 energy, seems to push this duality even further, amplifying his form-specific effects. But here's where things get interesting. Community discussion points out that switching between these modes may feel a little clunky in real-time combat. That has some players wondering if Durin will demand perfect timing to shine, or if Hoyoverse will fine-tune his transitions before release. His passive talents reportedly focus on resistance reduction, but not for everyone. Instead of universally shredding enemy defenses, Durin seems to specialize, targeting Pyro and possibly Anemo or Geo foes. That means he might not directly boost traditional melt or vaporize reactions, which could make him less ideal for Hydro or cryocentric teams. Still, that trade-off hints at something new. A character whose strength is built around specific faction synergy rather than raw elemental math. Now, let's talk weapons, because you can't have a Harbinger-level hype cycle without some shiny metal. Durin's signature sword is said to provide a party-wide attack bonus with a crit rate substat, making it equally valuable for him and his allies. Pair that with his Constellations, and you start to see how Hoyoverse might position him as a hybrid support and sub-DPS. At Constellation 2, his damage spikes dramatically, unlocking stronger energy regeneration and burst uptime. By Constellation 6, things go full inferno. His defenses drop slightly, but his offensive power skyrockets, turning him into a high-risk, high-reward pyro enabler who burns brightest when played aggressively. But that's just one side of the story. The real game-changer, the one that's getting lore theorists and meta-analysts equally excited, is the rise of the Hexen Circle synergy system. Picture this. A faction-based mechanic where certain characters share hidden links, granting bonuses when they're in the same party. Think of it as resonance, but built on lore and personality rather than just elemental type. Durin seems to be the first true key to unlocking this idea, and the rumored members of this new Hexen Circle expansion include some surprising names. Sucrose, Fishl, and even Razor. Yep. Older Mondstadt favorites might finally be stepping into the spotlight again. Each of them could receive new talent supplements, passive boosts that activate when multiple Hexen Circle members are present in your party. Imagine Fishl's as gaining longer uptime, Sucrose amplifying not just EM but new Hexen-tagged effects, and Razor tapping into hidden synergy with Durin's elemental resonance. It's bold, and it's a bit risky. On one hand, this could breathe fresh life into classic characters, giving long-time players new reasons to revisit old favorites. On the other hand, there's concern that it could limit creativity, nudging teams into strict faction-locked builds instead of open experimentation. Otherwise, it makes a lot of sense. Sucrose's inclusion ties beautifully to her alchemical research and possible collaboration with Durin's backstory. Fishl, the ever-dramatic prinzessin, fits the mystical tone of the Hexen Circle perfectly, possibly through her connections to fate and celestial phenomena. Razor's addition, though, is a surprise, but some speculate it's connected to Varka and the Knights of Favonius. hinting that the Hexen Circle's influence might extend beyond just mages and scholars. And that's where things get even more intriguing. The Hexen Circle seems to straddle the line between the scientific and the supernatural. Alchemy, fate, magic, and now Pyro itself. Durin being part of this system isn't random. It feels like the culmination of Mondstadt's hidden history, blending the storylines of Kenria, the Abyss, and alchemical evolution. Players are buzzing with excitement and a little apprehension. Many love the idea of a new off-field pyro applicator who can bring both flair and flexibility, but others worry about the execution. With his dual-form mechanics, energy costs, and faction-specific synergies, some fear Durin might end up being too complicated or too conditional. Another high-skill, high-maintenance unit who only shines with the right gear and team. And of course, the burning question. Is Durin going to be a limited banner star or a standard character? Some whispers say he could join the standard pool, echoing what happened with Dihaya, a move that would spark endless debate. If true, it might make sense from a balance perspective, but many fans are hoping Hoyoverse gives him the premium spotlight treatment he deserves. At its core, Luna 3 feels like an experiment, a laboratory for Genshin's future. Hoyoverse seems to be testing the waters for faction-based gameplay similar to what we've seen in Honkai Star Rail, where characters gain bonuses for sharing a faction identity. If this system succeeds, it could open the door for deeper mechanical diversity and long-term character value. Imagine a world where Mondstadt, Liyue, Sumeru, and Fontaine each get faction buffs that reward lore-driven party composition. Suddenly, those early-game characters you benched might become essential again. But it could also backfire. If the buffs feel too narrow or the synergy too restrictive, players might feel forced into specific combinations just to keep up with the meta. That's the tightrope Hoyoverse is walking here. Innovation versus limitation, nostalgia versus novelty. Still, there's something undeniably exciting about seeing older heroes like Sucrose, Fishl, and Razor woven into new systems. It reminds us that Genshin isn't just about new characters. It's about evolution, connection, and storytelling that bridges the past and future. And Durin, he's the spark that might ignite it all. Whether he becomes a meta staple or a misunderstood experiment, his arrival signals a clear shift in design philosophy. The days of isolated kits and one-note supports may be coming to an end. In their place, we're seeing synergy as identity. Gameplay built around the idea that characters are stronger together when united by story, not just element. So, travelers, as we approach Luna 3, remember this. Durin might not just bring fire. He might bring change. And whether that's a flame of renewal or chaos, we'll find out soon enough. That's all for today's deep dive into Durin and the Hexen Circle. What do you think? Are you excited about faction synergies and Mondstadt's comeback? Or are you worried about restrictive team mechanics? Drop your thoughts below. I love reading your theories. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss a new update. Until next time, may your pulls be blessed and your Hexen Circle complete.